Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into buy now, pay later. Klarna, Afterpay, Affirm, all those names you see popping up at checkout.
Right, they're everywhere.
They promise you can get what you want, like right now, and just pay it off in chunks. Seems super easy.
Yeah, instant gratification. Often advertised as interest-free, no complex credit check.
Exactly. So the big question we're digging into, based on the source material we looked at, is this. Is it really just a handy tool for managing your money, or is there maybe a catch?
Mm-hmm. A hidden danger, perhaps. We want to sort of unpack how these services actually work and what potential pitfalls our source highlights.
Okay, so let's start with the appeal. Why are people using these so much? The source we read really hits on this idea of it feeling like a win-win.
Right.
You get your stuff immediately, you don't shell out all the cash at once, and those 4 easy payments, they sound really manageable, don't they?
Totally. Especially if maybe cash flow is a bit tight that month, or perhaps you're trying to avoid using a traditional credit card for whatever reason.
Yeah, it seems like a perfect fit sometimes.
Well, and there's a psychological angle too, isn't there? Getting the thing now and splitting the cost feels, I don't know, less painful than one big hit on a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
But the text we looked at points out that this very ease, this sort of breaking down of the cost, it might actually nudge you to spend more overall.
How so?
Well, because each payment seems small, you might not track the total cost accumulating across, several different BNPL plans you might have running. It adds up.
Okay, right. And this is where the source material gets a bit more critical. It actually calls BNPL a potentially dangerous system. That's strong language.
It is. The core argument presented is that these companies, well, they aren't just providing a neutral service. Their business model kind of depends, at least partly, on people messing up.
Messing up how? Like missing payments.
Exactly. Missing payments, incurring late fees.
Mm.
The text argues that while, sure, merchants pay a fee to offer BNPL, a really significant chunk of revenue for some BNPL providers comes from those consumer slip-ups, those late fees and penalties.
So while it starts interest-free.
Right. If you stumble, that's where they potentially profit. The source implies their profitability isn't just from merchants, it's also banking on some level of consumer error.
I see. So it raises that question about whether their interests and, your financial well-being are always perfectly aligned.
Precisely. Are they genuinely helping you manage payments? Or is the model built assuming some people won't manage them perfectly? That's the tension.
So the main thrust of this source, then, is really to kind of pull back the curtain, as it says, to show it's maybe not as simple or harmless as the ads make it look.
Yeah, it's definitely presenting a more cautious perspective. It's not saying don't use it necessarily, but understand the mechanism.
It frames its purpose pretty clearly, helping you protect yourself from falling into the trap. That's the phrase it uses.
Mm-hmm. It's a warning, really. Understand the terms, keep track of your payments across all plans, because the potential downside, the cost if you slip up, could be significant.
What you don't know can cost you big. That's another direct line from it.
Exactly. It emphasizes awareness.
Okay, so wrapping up our look at this particular source, it really lays out this conflict, doesn't it? On one hand, you've got the undeniable convenience, the easy access.
Yeah, that instant gratification we talked about.
But on the other hand, this source flags these potential hidden costs, the risk of debt, the business model questions.
Right, and that leaves us and you, the listener, with something to think about.
Which is?
Well, when you're faced with that BNPL option at checkout, how do you weigh it? Is that immediate ease worth the potential long-term financial risks that this analysis brings up?
It's about considering the true cost, maybe beyond just those 4 initial payments.
Exactly. What's the real trade-off for getting it now? Something to mull over.